Nobody thinks. You know, Good afternoon. Welcome. We're going to ask that you try to start finding seats. We have a streaming portion and we'd like to start on time as close as possible.
Check, check. Check. Do we have volume? I think we do. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to try to stay on schedule today. So if everybody can get to their seats, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Velda Henry, who's going to offer our invocation and pledge of allegiance. So Velda. And then we're going to have lunch delivered, and we're going to try to start the program right at noon.
Good morning. My assignment today is to begin our program. So I thought about what could I say, what could I do? I thought about maybe doing an icebreaker, tell a joke, or even sing a song like John Allen, but that's not going to happen. But I do want to say it has been a long time since we have been together, and it is great seeing everyone together again. Yes, we have been through so much. So it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 2021 annual meeting of the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore. I am Velda Henry, a member of the Board of the Community Foundation, and on behalf of my colleagues, let me say how pleased we are that you're joining us today. We appreciate the opportunity to gather in person, share a meal, and celebrate our work together through the foundation. At this time, would you please stand briefly for the Pledge of Allegiance and to remain standing for our invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now I invite you to join me in a moment of reflection. Please bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for everyone gathered here today. We thank you that you were able to bring hope through even the toughest times. May your spirit dwell among us as we are assembled here today. We thank you for the wisdom you instilled in those who established this fine organization, which serves as a helping hand to so many in our region. May you give us the willingness to continue the work that uplifts the quality of life for so many. Give us resolve to move forward as we continue on this earthly plane. Amen. You may be seated. Veterans Day is November 11th, and we want to take this time to thank all veterans in the room for their service and sacrifice. If you can, please stand to be recognized. Any veterans? Thank you. We will now break for lunch and reconvene shortly for the remainder of the program. Our virtual guests will be joining promptly at noon. Please enjoy your lunch.
clerks are
Just looking
here.
out to see if everybody's been served.
Yes, they have.
Okay.
Confirm that. Yep, everybody's been served. So whenever you want to break up the conversation, my friend.
So go time. A little nervous. All right.
I know it's been a long time since we had to stare out at all these people.
Yeah.
So
All right.
it'll be fun.
Let's do it.
Yep.
Oh, Erica, where's the camera? Like, where's the attendees? Are they? Can they? We can't see them. Okay. 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 Great. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. If I could have everyone's attention, please. Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome to the 2021 annual meeting of the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore. I'd like to welcome our virtual attendees who we can't see, but they can see us. It's exciting. Last year, remember, we had this event virtually. We had about 150 virtual attendees, and this year we have about 30. So that's a lot of progress. So it's great to have everybody here. This is an amazing setting. It feels great to be here. The room looks warm and inviting, and thank you to the staff for getting the lunch out so quickly. This was great. Thank you very much. I'd also like to say thanks to PAC 14 and Mid-South Audio and for making the virtual connection for us. Thank you very much. My name is Mike Truitt. I'm chairman of the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore. And I'd like to start by thanking Velda for that warm welcome and invocation. It's great to see everyone here today. I'd like to begin the program by recognizing our board of directors, our current board of directors. So here's a slide that shows the board, and I would just like to ask anyone that's here, our board members, to please stand and take a bow. Thank you all for your service. It's a real privilege to work alongside of these folks and further the mission of the Community Foundation. All of your board members come from diverse industries. We all possess different skill sets, different demographics, different backgrounds, but we all share a common passion and desire to serve our community and improve the quality of life on Maryland's Lower Eastern Shore. So again, thanks to all of you. Speaking of the board of directors, as is tradition, we have to say farewell to a handful. I'd like to give a special thanks to 3 board members who have served 4 3-year terms. Yeah, 12 years, so 36 years between the 3 of them. So we're going to miss them very much. And if you wouldn't mind, please standing, Ernie Satchel. There's Ernie. There's Ernie over here. Thank you, Ernie. Lauren Taylor, are you out there? There's Lauren. And Kathleen Mclean. Oh, she's virtual? Okay. Thank you, Kathleen. Thank you all very much for your service. And speaking of leadership within the organization, I'd like to update you on the very important membership committee. If we could get the slide of the membership committee. The membership committee is tasked with nominating new individuals to serve on the board of directors. And we, at the most recent corporate members meeting, these 3 folks were elected to a 1-year term. Susan Purnell, chairwoman, Cecilia Dennis, Tom Hershey, one of our founding members. Tom, are you out there? Goodness, there he is. Thank you, Tom, for everything. Duke Marshall, Jeff Turner, Dr. Annette Wallace, and Dr. Julius Zant. Thank you very much. And I'm just curious, are there any first-time attendees here for the luncheon? Oh, look at that. Fantastic. Susan, take notes. It's great. It's the lifeblood of the organization, so it's great to have some first-time folks here. Thank you very much. So in addition, we have re-elected 3 board members to another 3-year term. So I'd like to say and recognize Dr. Carolyn Johnston. Carolyn, where are you? There's Carolyn. Thank you, Carolyn. My neighbor, Gail Widdison. Gail, where are you? There's Gail. Oh, there you are. And yours truly. So in addition to the board members, I want to give a special thanks to the members of our volunteer committees. These individuals contribute hundreds of hours, and we give out thousands of checks a year, and they generally fall into community needs and educational needs. But all of these folks that apply, those grants have to be reviewed, and we conduct site visits to protect the integrity of our process. So we literally go out and visit these organizations. One that comes to mind for me personally was Prince Street Elementary School wanted some violins for their 5th grade music class, and we went out and met, and because we gave those violins, they were able to do like a spring musical event, and it brought a lot of parents that normally wouldn't come to school to see their kids perform, and it gave the kids something to do after school. And so, it's going out and meeting that music teacher and, making sure that those violins are going to find a good home. It's those types of activities that really keep the integrity of the process. So I just want to say thanks to all our volunteer committee members. And I'd like to ask them to stand, please, if you're on a volunteer committee. Well, thank you very much. So being chairman is a high honor and a privilege, but one of the best parts of it is each year we get to recognize an individual for outstanding service, someone who's gone above and beyond the call of duty. And while many of our volunteers stand up and stand out and stand up for excellence, this individual deserves special recognition. For more than 11 years, this board member has supported and mentored our staff as well as our junior board members. This person has served in a leadership position in other organizations and deeply cares about the betterment of the Lower Eastern Shore. This person is always kind and positive, always asks tough questions at the meetings, and comes up with creative and effective solutions. In addition to serving on the Community Foundation Board, this person has served on the executive committee of the Community Foundation and 5 other committees. So that's a total of 7 committees. This is the epitome of a public servant. No job is too big or too small for this person, from serving lunches at a summer youth program to chairing the board of directors for 2 years. He's made it his mission to serve alongside the staff, the volunteers, and community partners. So therefore, it is my honor to present the 2021 Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore's Chairman's Award to Jim Thomas. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Please say a few words.
Okay, there'll be very few, but thank you. Yeah, I'm really overwhelmed. This is a great award, and it's an unbelievable organization. I enjoyed every minute of it. I got one more year, thank goodness. But anyway, very devoted board, and the staff is outstanding. And thank you, donors, and thank you. Those are recipients of our grants and make everything work in this community. It's a great community because of it, and Lower Shore has been a lot richer because of the Community Foundation being here. I'm just so pleased with this award. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. You're a deserving recipient. Thank you for all you've done. So at this point, I'm going to turn it back to our trustee leader, Erica Joseph.
I have to say, Jim is realizing why his plans to go to South Carolina changed abruptly, I think, at this moment. Hi, everyone. It's so wonderful to see you here today. Mike, I shouldn't have let you get away, but you can stay seated. I don't want to make you have to wander back. I do want to say thank you for serving as chairman for probably 2 of the most challenging years that any organization can imagine going through, and I know my peers in the nonprofit world understand that. And so you are rotating off this year as our board chair, but we do have a small token of our appreciation for your efforts. I think you might take advantage of that on the golf course, maybe. I wanted to mention, Mike did mention Kathleen Mclean and Jenny Malone, two of our board members are with us virtually today, so I wanted to make sure to recognize them as well as a number of our donors and nonprofit partners. We really wanted to make sure that we had the opportunity to come together today, but also that for folks where that wasn't the most convenient or it wasn't a fit, that there was still an option to be part of today's communication and outreach and celebration. So I'd like to first start by welcoming the members of our team. If they could just stand, they have put a tremendous effort in to today's program, and I get to do this part, but they basically do everything else behind the scenes, so I have to make sure to acknowledge them. We've remained healthy and focused on our work at the Community Foundation and have really tried to keep our efforts on bringing resources to where they're needed most. So along with our current staff, we have 3 new members that we've brought on board recently: Katara Marshall, Shelby Thompson, and our newest member who just started this week, Kathy Diekman. So a round of applause for our entire team and everything they do day in and day out. We also have an intern joining us this year, Noha El-Shalali, and she is working on our Giving Tuesday campaign. So if you are part of our nonprofit outreach in that effort, you will definitely be connecting with Noha. I also want to give a little bit of special appreciation to Bob McGee with LensArt. You see our staff up there. He always does a wonderful job and has been a friend of ours for many years, making sure our staff looks professional and up to date on our website and elsewhere. So thank you, Bob. Now, we would not be here today in this place celebrating without the support of our sponsors. The folks on this list I know are not unfamiliar to many in the room, and they continue to embrace our mission in whatever format we're doing that. And I just want to highlight these corporations and individuals because it's not just what they do to support us that's impressive, it's because this is but a small sampling of the impact that they're having throughout the community. Every one of these organizations provides financial resources, gets involved in volunteer capacity, is part of the fabric of the community. And I just want to take a moment to say thank you to them, and we appreciate everything that you bring to the Community Foundation and to the entire region. Now, hopefully you've had a chance to look at this year's annual report. Victoria's done a beautiful job once again. We've had some friends. Carrie Samus, I know, is joining us virtually. She helped with some of the photo content and some other things. So that collaborative effort is truly a beautiful highlight of some of the work that we've done the past year. Each year, we get to share this with you because this Community Foundation was created more than 3 decades ago. And a lot of these funds that are part of this network do that work quietly each and every year, but they really help to make our lives better. Our annual report features some of those highlights, but I would direct you to page 12. Page 12 has some of our new funds. Those funds we highlight each and every year because many of them will now, from this point on, begin doing that quiet work year after year of supporting the causes that these donors are passionate about. And so we like to bring them to everyone's attention, at least at the moment they're created, so that they get the recognition that they deserve. 30 years from now, these funds will be highlighted with the total impact of grant making, just like the $5.1 million that we were able to grant to local nonprofits and students this past year. I think this is something we should all be proud of because it truly is that culmination of everything that we work on together. Now, if you ask our team, they will each tell you some of their favorite funds. I actually asked them, and I got such a long list that I was like, I can't highlight every single one of those. And sometimes it's because it's a fund that's making its very first grant for the year. There are 3 new funds that were recently established. one in honor of Mildred Lappy, one in honor of Mary Gladys Jones, and one in honor of Frances Olson. Now, you may not know any of these women, but just so that you do know, those funds that were created in their memory and honor started making their first grants this year. So it's a way for their legacy to extend throughout the community. Sometimes the favorite fund is because that mission speaks to us as individuals. Creating a fund can mean many different things. It can mean that you support your favorite cause forever, or that you're increasing the impact of your gift over time, or maybe you're focused on tax benefit. Maybe you want to be flexible and proactive. Maybe your nonprofit needs a way to create a more sustainable future. Maybe it means that you're joining together with people that care about the same thing that you do. It means you can give anonymously if you'd like, or that you can give in honor or memory of someone that you love. It also means that you're creating a legacy. Now, I just described a lot of the funds that the staff highlighted for me, and not everyone does every one of those things. But that's the beauty. Every single one of those funds is somebody's fund, and it does exactly what they want. So help us write those future stories because you're the author of them. Now, one that captured the hearts of many this year, including some of our team, was created under the leadership of Mr. Steve Miller, very familiar director right here of Recreation, Parks, and Tourism for Wicomico County. We at the Community Foundation, along with dozens of others, were brought together by Steve's vision. He had a vision for children and families right here on the shore, and it required just a little bit of help that the Community Foundation was uniquely qualified to assist with. So Steve, if you would, briefly introduce us to Field 7.5.
Good afternoon. Erica, thank you. Just want to thank everyone for the invitation to speak with you today, and I want to thank Erica and the Foundation for choosing the Civic Center to host this great event today. We're certainly honored to have you here today. I'm here to talk very briefly about a project that we completed this past year that we called Project 7.5. It was a $1.1 million project that involved building an adaptive baseball field and an inclusive playground at the Henry Parker Sports Complex, designed for kids and adults with disabilities to play and enjoy the great sport of baseball. Some of you may have known the late Dr. Marcus Stefanidis. I don't know if any of you were familiar with him. He was an orthopedic surgeon for a long time in Salisbury. Dr. Stefanidis was my grandfather-in-law, and as time went on, he became one of my very best friends, a man who I miss very dearly and who I think often of. Knowing him as I knew him, I know exactly how Dr. Stefanidis would have described every part of this project. The ball field, the playground, the opening day and all that happened at that opening day, and the season, every part of it. He would have described it as magical. That was a word he loved to use, and that's exactly what it was. It was magic. Every part of it. If you were there for the opening day, you can attest to that, but it was special. It was different, it was unique, and it was magic. And that magic couldn't have happened without the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore. The Community Foundation did two major things that helped propel this effort and really make this a reality. Number one is the Community Foundation was actually the first donor to contribute to this project. A $10,000 donation. At the end of the day, we had many donors that contributed to the fund to make this happen, but the Community Foundation was first. And they contributed $10,000, and that got us going and got the ball moving in the right direction, which was incredibly helpful. But number two, and perhaps more importantly, the foundation legitimized our fundraising efforts to make this project possible. You know it's very difficult, and I'm preaching to the choir here, it's very difficult to raise $500,000 to get something done, and that's what we had to do. It's even more difficult to raise $500,000 in the middle of a pandemic. And it's even more difficult to raise $500,000 in a pandemic when you work for the government, as I do. I am not going to lie to you, I got some sideways looks when you start asking for donations and you're part of the government. But housing the fund at the Community Foundation legitimized all of the efforts and the vision of what we were trying to put forward. So when we went to the Purdue Foundation and the Donnie Williams Foundation and the Hensons and the Rotary Clubs and all the great organizations, many of which are represented here, having the name and the reputation of the Community Foundation and knowing that this would be housed here, it legitimized everything that we were trying to do. And I can tell you right now, if it was not for the Community Foundation, we would not have been successful and the project would not have happened. And all that is thanks to the Community Foundation of the Eastern Shore. So on behalf of Wycomico County, and I feel very comfortable speaking on behalf of the many children and the families and the parents and all who participated and will continue to participate in the future for many years to come, I want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for giving these kids the same opportunities that all kids have to come and play the great sport of baseball, to enjoy time together as friends on a playground and to get to play together and just to have those same opportunities. So thank you to the Community Foundation for creating magic in our community, not just for this project, but for all the great efforts that the foundation supports in the community. We thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Now with that, I'd like to show just a very brief 1-minute video, which is some highlights from the opening day that we had this past spring, which I hope you enjoy. But again, thank you for your time and for allowing me to be here today. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. And I've never had to speak after Steve, so I appreciate that he went pretty easy this time because he can be a tough act to follow. Who was at opening day for Field 7.5? I know that there were folks there. It was the most amazing feeling to watch those families and those teams play. And our own Pam Hying, who's on our finance team at the Community Foundation, she was a coach this first year, and so she was at every game and she was buddied up, and it was so wonderful to have that in our community. So thank you, Steve, and everyone that you motivated to be part of that. I don't even know how to follow that. I feel like I should just be done, but I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to talk for another minute anyway. I do want to mention that in addition to stewarding all of the wonderful funds that we get to be part of, we also have the opportunity at the Community Foundation to really respond and leverage and engage. And that's what we were able to do during the pandemic with our COVID Response Fund. I just wanted to update you that as of September 15th of this year, we had distributed $320,000 to 76 different local nonprofits through that fund. Everything from cleaning supplies to PPE to technology to support for our Humane Society, who unfortunately had a significant burden as people struggled to take care of their animals. But that money was there in part because of many of you. Another way that we connect each other in immediate ways is through our Giving Tuesday campaign. It's coming up this year on November 30th. It's our 7th annual. I need to thank Shore United Bank and 47 ABC, who continue to be wonderful partners. This is the opportunity. We have over 100, I think 105 different nonprofits that are participating this year. It's one day that we can all reach out collectively to the community and share the work that we do. It's really very easy to participate. SureGivesMore.org and our program and marketing team are working hard for that launch soon. So please participate, even if it's just by sharing information on an organization that you know is part of the campaign that day. Now, I will stop talking because I'm going to turn it over to two dear friends to do our awards. And one thing that I noted that I did not highlight in Mike's speech, unfortunately, you might have seen it on the slide. We have 4 new wonderful individuals coming on to the Community Foundations Board. Robin Evans, Melody Nelson, Sonia Whited, and Tyrone Mills. Would you all please just stand for a moment? My apologies for getting the slide in, but not the remarks. I look forward, I hope that you didn't listen to that part about 12-year terms. You can, I hope, we are so fortunate. And Melody has already served 12-year terms. She's actually returning back to us, so special thanks to her. And now with that recognition, I will turn it over to my friends Marty Neat and Susan Purnell, who are going to work us through this year's awards.
Got her? Yep. Great. Okay. Okay, we get the fun part. We get to give some awards. The Mary Gladys Jones Volunteer of the Year Award honors the sacrifice, commitment, and value of volunteers in their sustained, unselfish investment of time, talent, and expertise. In presenting this award, we honor not only the recipient, but indeed all volunteers in their spirit of service throughout our community. In addition to this award, the honoree will receive $1,000 for the charity of his or her choice. This year's recipient is widely seen as a selfless, dedicated, passionate, resourceful individual, always willing to lend a hand. His devotion to Salisbury and surrounding communities shines brightly through his work, volunteer efforts, and infectiously positive attitude. Always one to step up when needed, often without being asked, this recipient has touched the lives of countless organizations and individuals. Our recipient is a champion of our community's homeless, our youth, and our nonprofit community, and often is described as never truly being off from work. He was an essential part in securing a location for Beyond Your Walls shower trailer, which provides warm showers to home insecure individuals. He mentors students at Pinehurst Elementary School and leads a prayer gathering at the school each Wednesday. In 2015, he established the Camden Community Garden, which has created a major impact on our community through hosting school classes, encouraging citizens to garden, promoting healthy lifestyles, and building a sense of community. Because of his guidance and mentorship, several other community gardens are thriving across the Lower Shore. This year's honoree stepped up as leader of the food group for Tri-County Mediation's Vulnerable Population Task Force, helped to put into action the development of Newton Community Center, and manages Community of Joy's Emergency Shelter Project. It is fitting and highly appropriate that our recipient is the pastor of Community of Joy Church, since he provides so much joy to those in our community. His nominator stated, "Every community needs a Martin Hutchison." We could not agree more. We are honored to present the 2021 Mary Gladys Jones Volunteer of the Year Award to Reverend Martin Hutchison.
Trade your places. I guess I'm gonna have to move this down a little bit. That was Marty Neat. He's retiring. I'm Susan Purnell and I'm not. And I'll never retire from the Community Foundation, even if they kick me off after 12 years. The Nonprofit Award of Excellence was established in 1989 to honor Richard A. Henson for his transformational leadership in our community. The organization selected to receive this award must make an outstanding contribution to the well-being of residents of the Lower Shore by responding to a significant community need, showing ingenuity and innovation in utilizing resources, and demonstrating excellence in board leadership and responsibility. The list of past honorees is indeed impressive, reflecting the very best that our communities have to offer. Many of them are in this room today. Junior Achievement, Jamie. Chesapeake Housing Mission, Don. I saw you here, I know you're here. The Art League of Ocean City, Rena, just to name a few. In addition to being honored by the Community Foundation, the organization receives a $5,000 check to support their work. This year, we recognize an organization that is a leader in the cultural heritage field, has adopted profusely in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic, and is a constant source of education and advocacy for our region's arts and culture and for visitors of all ages. This year's recipient was established in 1968 and now has members in all 50 states and 8 countries. They are one of only 2 American Alliance of Museums accredited institutions on the shore and one of only 23 in the state of Maryland. This organization attracts locals and tourists to the Eastern Shore as it creates opportunities for learning about artistic traditions, community heritage, and connections to the natural environment. In fiscal year 19, more than 12,000 visitors flocked, I'm going to give you a few hints, to this organization's events and exhibitions. However, when COVID-19 pandemic stepped in, like many of us, they were forced to adapt to stay afloat. The staff got creative, working their programming, exhibits, and events to fit the virtual world. They even created their first bilingual exhibit. Currently, this organization has carved out multiple hybrid and virtual options, including virtual festivals, weekly story time and crafts for preschoolers, virtual field trips, virtual after-school stream program, and much more. They're also planning outdoor socially distanced classes for adult learners and a fully virtual youth environmental summit. A staple of the Eastern Shore, this organization provides a truly unique experience of nature, art, heritage, and folk life, encompassing the beauty that the shore has to offer. Now, do we have to play Duck, Duck, Goose in order to guess this? It is my pleasure to present the 2021 Richard A. Henson Award of Excellence to the Ward Foundation.
Sure.
Martin was shy.
Which I can't believe, Mark.
I know, really.
Okay,
Oh,
Mark,
goodness.
come on back
Okay.
up.
I just want to really say thank you so much. When I stepped into the position of executive director about 3 years ago, I had huge shoes to fill. The Ward Museum, through the Ward Foundation, has done phenomenal work. It had already done phenomenal work in the area of education, preserving the Eastern Shore's rich cultural traditions, and on and on. We've really tried in the last few years to, I'm out of breath, I'm so nervous. But we've really tried to continue to do this and to move forward in service and to create an even greater impact in our community. And have really done this with the support of the Community Foundation and others in this room. And I owe this to a large number of people, including our fantastic staff, our volunteer board of directors and other volunteers. And I look forward to continuing to work with you and in service of our great community together. Thank you.
Kristen, since she was willing to talk, we're going to give her a check too.
Oh, I'll take
okay?
that. Thank you.
Okay, the final award is the Frank H. Morris Humanitarian Award. Was established in 1991 to honor Frank Morris's lifelong dedication to our community and the high ethics, values, and professional standards he exhibited in his personal, professional, and community life. Frank's philanthropic spirit, integrity, and compassion for others are values that still enrich our community today. And as Mike noted earlier, Frank was one of the founders of the Community Foundation. Our goal is to recognize an individual who best exemplifies the qualities of leadership, vision, integrity, compassion, cooperation, generosity of time and talents to our community. The honoree also receives $1,500 for the charity of his or her choice and joins a distinguished list of community leaders who have shared their time, talent, and treasure to make this community great. This year's recipient has made a massive community impact throughout her career and volunteer efforts. Her compassion and generosity of time and talent to many organizations has enhanced the lives of the community's most vulnerable populations. Her very successful professional career brought and continues to bring positive results, enhancing the quality of life for senior citizens, their caretakers, and their families in our area. She more often than not says yes, even though she's now retired, and continues to share her time and talents with others, finding resources to help those who truly need it. And that commitment extends to our four-legged friends as well as to humans. An avid lover of dogs, our recipient is an enthusiastic board member of the Salisbury Kennel Club. Having previously served as treasurer and president of the club, she always looks for ways to improve the lives of our pets in our community. One example was combining the need of senior citizens and animals through the MAC Loves Pets on Wheels, a project to provide pet food, health and training tips, and other resources for the homebound senior pet owner and their best friend. An individual of many talents, she shares one specialty, in particular with organizations in need. That is grant writing. Our recipient has used this special writing skill to secure funding for the Ocean City Elks Lodge, Meals on Wheels of Worcester and Wycomico counties, and more recently, more than $200,000 for the Chesapeake Housing Mission. Our honoree is a steadfast advocate for seniors, having served as executive director of MAC for 37 years. Through her years of service, she has impacted the lives of thousands in our community. Her kindness, patience, humility, and willingness to help others is unparalleled. It is my pleasure to introduce the 2021 Frank H. Morris Humanitarian Award recipient, Margaret, we know her better as Peggy, Bradford.
All I can say is unbelievable to have your life's work and your passion for what you do awarded because what you do already brings great personal satisfaction. So thank you for this. And like Susan Purnell, I'm not retiring from volunteering. I'll keep on going till I get kicked out. Thank you so much.
You are for a moment. Yes, thank you. Wonderful, Susan. Do you see why you invite Susan Purnell to help present awards? She takes your script and then just makes it something phenomenal. By the way, I did not write any of those jokes. Marty, you have to know that I would not let this moment pass without thanking you on behalf of the entire Community Foundation for everything that you've done for us. Marty's retiring at the end of the year, I'm sure you've heard. Just a few things that you've done for us. You served a full 12-year term. You were actually board chair, I think, the year I got hired. I remember walking into that boardroom the first time and was so intimidated. But you have been a wonderful friend and mentor. You led us during the transformative Purdue Kresge years that elevated this organization and 19 other nonprofits in ways we could not have imagined. Since you left, you serve on our investment committee, you chair our annual awards committee, and basically anything else that we ask at any time. You do all of this while you do similar things for other nonprofits too numerous to mention, and you lead the way for philanthropic impact for First Shore Federal and being an example for your team. Your professional contributions are many, but your friendship is invaluable, and your personal charitable giving alongside your beloved Marilyn is inspiring. Marty, I know how much you love this kind of attention. So I'm going to end by saying thank you and giving you just a small token, a very small token of our immense appreciation. For others in the room, you may have gotten an invitation already, but you can help more fully celebrate everything that Marty has done for our community right here at the Civic Center on December 2nd. If you want to make it easy, we've set up a website, cfes.org/Marty. No, most people don't get their own page on the Community Foundation website, but Marty certainly deserves it. Thank you, Marty.
You know, sit down. Yeah, 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 I'm deeply honored, deeply honored. I mean, the Community Foundation has been such an incredible story of success in our community. Steve, I think, said it very appropriately, and thank God I didn't have to follow him. You know, it's just an awesome organization filled with awesome people. So I very much appreciate this. And like everybody else, I'm not going anywhere. I just won't show up at First Shore Federal on January 2nd. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations again to all of our award recipients. I do want to say a special thanks to Kay Thomas for her immense support in making sure Jim was here today. I also want to thank Mid-South Audio and PAC 14, who have been doing the tremendous work of pulling all this together so we could be here together and we could stream to our friends who are joining virtually. So thank you to them and to the Civic Center. Lastly, I want to introduce our incoming board chairman, who is going to close out our meeting today. Oh, sorry, Jim Jones.
Thank you, Erica, and yes, I'm Jim Jones. But thank you, Erica, and to everyone who worked to pull this effort together today. And Marty, congratulations on your retirement. But as you mentioned, you're not going anywhere. So, Erica, I have an idea. Maybe we can put him on a few more committees to keep him busy since he's not going anywhere. Everybody has made sure that we can celebrate safely and share our message with the broader community through our live stream. So we certainly do appreciate the in-person event, which was much missed by many, and the live stream for those who weren't able to attend in person. I'm looking forward to serving as chair next year and working alongside this team to enhance and expand our impact to further our shared mission of inspiring community philanthropy and connecting people who care to causes that matter. It has been wonderful to gather today because it is in these interactions we build the relationships that make our work possible. We celebrate each year with this meeting. Fortunately, this year it's in person as well as live streamed. But as Jimmy Buffett reminds us, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Who put that in there? That's not right. No, to quote from one of my favorite performers and songwriters, quote, "Life is a journey that's not measured in miles or years, but in experiences." I will leave you all with that sentiment. A final congratulations to all award recipients and best wishes for a wonderful weekend. Thank you.
If you received an award, if you would please report to the back of the room briefly for photos. It really has been wonderful to see all of you today. We thank you for taking the time to come together with us, to share stories, to laugh, and we'll look forward to doing this again next year. Take care, everyone.